in a different way. But Inferno is indeed underway here into this pistol. Mutiris will have that kit. Beyond that, there's not really too much out of the ordinary for these teams.
Yeah, not really. Hedrick going for the raid boss with the P250. Let's see what he can do. Roman, Pixel Peak. He doesn't want to stick around for the fight, though. He's alone towards B, so is the right decision. Absolutely. Got a flash, a smoke, and a decoy out there for Captain Kirker. Whether it gets used or not, we'll have to wait and see. Oh, in fact, there we go.
Yeah, straight in. Some kind of an interesting, maybe trying to bait utility out. I might battle that it's like as soon as a player sees a nade coming over the top, they might immediately respond.
Drop a smoke.
With that smoke. Yeah, it's pretty fair enough on Inferno here. But now the actual move coming in, it is just Roman to hold the line down. Nice little tap, stopping Hedrick getting in. So they'll concede the bomb plant here, but as we said, they've got that kit. They went for the 4-man A play. Roman maybe needed to survive a little longer. Bait trying to take the space. Flashes to keep them back, but there's a lot around this corner. I don't think you'll be expecting 3 Ts ready to go. Flash not quite good enough from Mutiris, and Alex is the only one needed thus far. I think potentially should be able to do enough to just slow them down, stop them in their tracks. Feels that way at the very least. HP bars incredibly low here, not looking doable for the CT side. And it is simple stuff from Bait, just tapping away to find those final few frags.
Yeah, great little round there as well from Ascenthia. And he's definitely somebody to mention. I think for this Bait side, when he was originally brought in, there was a lot of question marks about whether he can play up at this level. And I think out the gate, it was safe to say he couldn't. He really did struggle to get going on the Bait. But I've got to say, recently, somebody who's looked very, very comfortable on the T side. He likes being kind of first, and he likes to kind of try and crack things so open in his own regard. He's very solid closing out rounds as well, as we've just seen there. And on the CT side, as an anchor, has been looking really solid themselves. So I'm a fan of him. I think he's really stepped up, and this is where now Bait become, for my eyes, at least super scary. This a side that don't really have many gaps in the armor.
Slow start, of course, may well be a drawn out Inferno here, especially in the best of one. I think there's going to be so much pressure on these teams, on these players. Just early nadage thus far. No real presence from Bait. Slowly but surely making their way towards this A-bomb site and looking to pick up the speed into the mid-round. Long smoke comes in. Again, doesn't really give your game away necessarily. They'll start to creep forwards, but really expecting some kind of a creative move, whether that's through the apartments, you can see Alex holding pretty deep in there, or a stack of some kind. So not wanting to show their hand too early, now they will start the rest of the utility rolling forwards.
Flash around the corner, Story up close, not even good for the first in all fairness. MPL delivers well. And already this force fight not looking too favorable. Spam down through the smoke, a little bit of damage on towards Mutiris, but stays alive. Hedrick's in a prime position to get one, but he misses the opportunity. Might cost him, but second time of asking delivers. Well, Mutiris falling as well. This round's done. And they might even be tempted just to keep hold of the CZ, the MP9 here. I mean, just use it towards the next round and hope they can do something.
Yeah, totally fair enough. I mean, again, just sort of rolling through the motions here. It's nice to see from Bait that they have this coordination down pat. Really nice idea. Just get that long smoke out and, again, try and see what sAw are going to present. And this is one of the things with the move coming in, the departure of Berry. We have indeed played the vibes card, but I think it is certainly something to talk about, that it's going to be kind of shaky. Can you play the same Counter-Strike? Do you have to make a change? Yeah. Are we just playing this event to get comfortable for the RMR? There's so many questions for sAw coming into this, because it did feel, you saw some of the tweets that came out from the players, you know, did feel very abrupt, very unexpected. So I don't know that this event will have had as much specific time put into it for the sAw guys.
And I think as well, for this sAw side, I just feel like Aristosh is such a loss. I mean, he was somebody for me who, especially when we would see the odd game, but it does happen, where U-Jokes doesn't step up, he would actually be the one who was big in clutches, very able to step up and take over in himself, even though he doesn't play the greatest roles, even though he's generally not looked towards in this department to do that. He would realize, okay, I'm needed here, I've got to step up. And we especially saw when sAw were making runs and these sort of fairy tale narratives around them, a lot of it came with Aristosh pulling off really, really big moments against top teams. Aguil, the boy who's taken his place, obviously knows all of these players very, very well. I mean, the Portuguese scene as a whole is very tight-knit. He's played with a lot of them before in the past. as we caught on that little pre-match interview. Materis up close, gets cleared by MPL. The trade will get there in the end. Not before Agil gets caught and then down goes Story.
Yeah, looking good here. I mean, if you can just take away any kind of guns, it will be a decent result for sAw. I believe the remaining two players have been ultimately found out and momentarily finished off. So nice and easy 3-0 coming in here from Bait. Nothing too much to ask of them quite yet. Even the pistol looked pretty simple, to be honest. No stress, but this is the first big round. Story straight on that AWP. Full belts of utility. A kit missing might be a point of issue for sAw, but ultimately a really good buy here.
Yeah, keep an eye out for it as well. Without that kit, if that bomb goes down, especially when you're on a bit of a, what I like to call a bonus buy here in the sense that MAC-10 coming across, the Glills coming through as well. If that bomb goes down, it's going to make things very, very difficult indeed. Here on the corner, Captain Kirker wants to play up close. He's taking a hell of a lot of damage though. I think he's opting against that idea, which I think is smart. Roman for the first as he catches Captain Kirker on the way out. Had a sail between his legs, but he still gets clipped. And here's the opener for sAw. They needed this first gun round. They had to start well.
Spam away from a Cynthia. I'm not going to find anything quite yet. Oh, another one for Roman. Big finds from him in Banana, so Bait have been fully bested in that Banana control. So trusting the process. Yes, the early rounds were not very exciting, but this one has opened up incredibly well for them. They can draw away from B, so Bait not going to be easy here. Nade doesn't really do anything, to be honest, so what can they find? This is where they may well come to a head, as those individuals we've talked up so very much have got an opportunity to now show themselves. Another one drops. That is, of course, the bomb that gets seen there as well. Refound. Ooh. Nice little double peek towards the site, but getting through the rest of this defense is not going to be easy at all. Yeah, you step out, you're getting shot from all angles. So sAw, it's those initial kills in Banana that win them that one.
Yeah, well done. Really good work. I think Roman just makes sure there's just no contest there. I mean, you've done a Banana control, you're going to really struggle on a map like Inferno because you're limited to so few options. And that's what we saw. A tough round as well for sort of MPL to kind of call from once they've got either the really hard decision of, do we try and retake Banana? There's a deep smoke over towards ramp. Do we try and flash our way through this and try and fight up, right? But I don't think that's always the most beneficial thing because it's normally quite costly, I think, ultimately. In that instance, he opts against it. This time, it might go a little quicker, but another really healthy grenade. Roman does really well. I mean, Captain Kirker, once again, is barely alive to start out a round. That must be incredibly frustrating 2 rounds in a row.
These are the types of games and moments as well where a player like Roman does have to step up when they have these gaps that may need filling. This is a guy that, you know, has played in many different iterations of this team, over many different iterations of the game. So he has to be the man to sort of swallow his pride a little bit and be like, okay, maybe I'm going to play a spot or an angle that I don't quite enjoy, but I'm going to have to do it to the best of my ability. And there he is, stepping up for another multi-kill moment. Ujerk's also chiming in. Looks pretty good now for sAw. They've got some support on the way. Yes, we might just get a bomb plant here from the Bait boys, but how much is that really worth if sAw are able to keep the dominating pressure on this T side? It doesn't matter so much about the bomb plants. Let's see how the retake goes.
At least now they've got kits, right? In the 2 versus 5, you surely can't see a world in which they lose this. Head Trick and Alex are going to do something absolutely miraculous. At Elisa not too long ago, just before this, Alex was the standout performer. He really had a lot of massively key moments. Let's see what he's got for us here. Alex and Head Trick one apiece. A second behind it, and the 5 versus 2 is on here. Now down into the 2 versus 2. Through the smoke, Agil delivers an Alex up close. He'll trade. He looks for 2. Oh, he's going to deliver as well. Gets Story off the back of it, and that is a massive 2 versus 5 in the post plant, and an inexcusable round to lose for sAw.
Yeah. My guy, the interim coach, shaking his head at the back. That is a rough one to to be on the end of such a great start from the B defenders, and it all comes down to that flash, doesn't it? I think just messed with their flow completely.
Well, our understanding is it's Psydox, who's normally the analyst. Well, mate, analyze that fella. That's not it's not a good round to try and break down. Good luck demo reviewing that one, pal.
Yes. Back in the hotel room. Hopefully a round that you can forget about, though, if the rest of the game goes well. But yeah, that is tough. Again, just off by a couple of beats. Flash comes in, blinds the guy it's meant for. Then the player behind him's like, oh, do I go? Do I support? You know, are we bailing? And it all, everyone just kind of completely off rhythm. Yeah, not on par with each other.
I think it's safe to say comms looked a little cluttered there. They definitely looked quite panicked, and where on the other side, it was, you know, I don't think you really even need to talk if you're kind of Alex and Hetrick in that spot, in the sense of the level that Saw did. It was, we're just playing a crossfire here. Yeah. We've got each other's back. If one falls, we trade, nice and easy, and we're going to try and isolate fights as best we can. And again, you know, Alex, shout out to him. Really well done. Even that little 180 on towards Story, nice little read. I don't know if he heard a step or it was instincts, but ended up working out perfectly.
Yeah, those are the types of rounds as well. Regardless of map, regardless of whether you're confident, you shouldn't be losing them, you know.
Absolutely.
You only have yourself to blame. Ultimately, any player worth their salt at this level is going to capitalize when you mess up. Roman knows his angles well down here, though, and he will continue being the soldier. Keeps those consistent frags coming in. The standout performer for Saw right now.
Yeah, it's weird, you know, 7 and 3, and I think 5 of them, he hasn't even seen them. He's just been spamming down through that smoke and getting a lot of legway. And I actually think this is a real contentious point for Bait. They're not actually contesting him. They're not fighting him. They're just letting him take banana control and either going there late or trying to react off the back of it. But it does really limit you what you can do on this map. I know they're winning at the moment. It is a real, maybe thorn in the side that actually could compile rounds in a row for Saw if they don't plug this hole. They've got to try and take banana control. They've got to try and at least fight for it. All that's happening right now is just Captain Kirk just eating a grenade to start off every single round.
Yeah. I think Bait, if they are going to fight it, they have to commit. That's also something they keep doing, is just kind of hanging around on the edge of that smoke like, this time I'll follow the traces. This time I'll get him.
Yeah.
Nice find from Hetrick, though, to try and crack open this A-bomb site. We do have U-Jerks on the way. Is he going to be required? I suppose is the question on everybody's lips here. Potentially. Oh, God, pistols are out. Flashes all over. Hetrick doesn't know what he's shooting at. And Saw will be right back on the board. So at least there is that. Yes, an egregious loss on the retake, but they are still able to find themselves, stop themselves from slipping.
Oh, nice as well. Didn't realize it was through the wood. Even better. But it's one of those at the moment. That's going to be the real issue for me. So far for Bait, you can see individually they actually look pretty clean, pretty crisp. But maybe not as much of it towards Saw. We're not seeing that U-Jerk stand-up performance or Story, as Alan was sort of touching on the desk. I mean, they would be arguably the two best players on this side. And once again, Roman for 2. They need to stop this guy. Fellas, just molly top car. I mean, every MM team does it at this rate, but they cannot allow him to keep taking top car control and keep spamming. He is good for minimum 1 round, and this time 2. It's starting to get a little bit ridiculous now, Scriv.
Yeah, very sort of interesting move. Like you say, it was a smoke in from Bait there at the top end of Banana to try and deny vision. It's like, Roman's not had vision all half, and he's still been killing you. So it's more about positional control than it is eyeballs. He's still savvy to the fact that they might be around, trying to bait them in as well. U-Jerks does well to get one. Instantly traded. Molotov is down. They're not all that powerful on the CT side anymore, so Alex is just going to go straight through it, try and look for this kill. And ultimately, Roman's just trying to keep himself alive. He has been spotted, but he's not even shooting here. He's just hiding away in this smoke, buying time for the rotations. No. He's broken the Glock out. The knife is even out there. There's enough chaos caused here on this B-bomb site that surely they should be able to take it. Alex, however, he's got the angles, couldn't get the spray down, and they do find him. Goodness me, it's all over the place. Smiles, at least, for Saw.
Yeah, I mean, Roman's loving life. He's just getting fed kills. He's 5-0 in opening duels, and he hasn't even seen any of the 5. It's absolutely bonkers. He just keeps getting freebies through smokes, through the wood into his top car. And like you said, they try to do something a little bit different there, and they say, okay, let's just smoke him out. Surely that's going to, force him away. He doesn't care. Doesn't give a damn. MPL had a Molotov that entire time. Didn't use it once. Even in the second wave of that fight, again, MPL had a Molotov, and it still cost one of his teammates his life before they end up using it. Another round where not contending, and top car control is Roman's domain. This time, they're not even trying to fight it. Granted, they are on pistols, so maybe they just don't want to feed. But surely this needs to be, at some point, attack pause in a conversation. Guys, we have got to plug this gap here. We cannot take banana control.
There goes that idea as well. They're still going to commit to the play out of balcony. No flash for this, so yeah, I think they're waiting for the smoke to go down. And then just overwhelmed with the numbers. However, sAw are quite ready. They've got the nade. It does minimal damage, but they're ready, I suppose. At least paints that picture. Mutirius in towards short, able to help his man. The Deagle gets in, the Tech-9 joins, but ultimately nothing going to come out of this one, and it will be a 4th for sAw.
Nice work. Just make sure there's nothing really involved in that round. Now we go back into the gun round. We go back into the buy. Don't leave him hanging, Roman. There we go. There we go. That's all right. Don't let, you know, these banana kills get to his head, right? we need to see how Bait respond. But the big thing for me, I'm just so curious in terms of, this normally isn't that big of a deal to clear top car. It's normally about, you know, corner wall or over towards CT or even playing in towards first orange. They're normally the places that you struggle to kind of clear and have to really utilize a lot of util for ultimately. But it's so strange at the moment how much of an issue we're just seeing they have with this so far. Once again, the spam. This time it's U-Jerks who gets it. And we're, again, left questioning what is going on here.
Yeah.
This is abnormal here. We've cast enough Inferno, sadly, in our lives. And the amount of struggle they're having, just even contending for it, is crazy.
Yeah, it is wild. I think together as well, we've been talking about Roman, but U-Jerks has been playing very well around his teammates. Story ready for the fights to come his way. Heard that fire tick across, so able to get one, spots another barrel. Alex goes a bit early ahead of the smoke. They will eventually take the AWP down, but it has cost them everything. Ascenthial can't shoot in 2 directions at once. And we are barely knocking on the door of these bomb sites, man. sAw playing a pretty impeccable game here. They have that black mark of the 2v5.
Yeah.
But beyond that, they've been absolutely unstoppable.
Well, I guess, you know, positive signs for Bait being that they do 55% of their rounds come from the CT side, so the bulk of their work is there, and the hope is that they can dig deep and try and find something. But yeah, I'm still left quite baffled. This looks, in a weird way for Bait, and for their standard, it looks quite rookie in a way, but we know they're not. This is a side who plays so much Counter-Strike in the Tier 2. We know they've been grinding through quals. A side who have always been kind of seen as, and especially recently really revered as being super scary. But just so puzzled by what's going on. Of course, a bit of a pause here as well, and an opportunity for Madden to kind of join in and kind of get on the mic and hopefully try and dig them out of what seems like a bit of a dark situation. I think it's a good time to call for a pause, but they will be coming in towards this round without a buy, or not a full buy at least, just upgraded pistols. This time, the nade stack, and it gets close. So I like the adaptation. We're learning here.
Yeah,
maybe a little late, but we're learning. Better late than never. Unfortunately, the nade stack doesn't kill him. He's still alive.
It's funny in 2 ways. One, that it's just like, right, nothing's working. Everyone nade car.
Yeah.
That's like such a MM strat, you know, when you're stuck for rounds, you're like, everyone nade car. And then he doesn't even die. So, you know, I'm sure there was like 4 nades going, maybe even all 5. Trying to show him who's boss. And yeah, Roman the king of banana right now. In more ways than one. Story up here and trained, ready to go. Does land the leg, but it's all a bait, of course, for the player in towards Cubby. Maybe going a bit early there, Roman. He's out of his depth because he's no longer on B. Either way, we have had a couple of kills back in. AWP retrieved. Rifle is somewhere to be found. They didn't quite get it in all the carnage, but they still have the space to do so. Mutirius stood in library to just gather that information. Where are they headed? Do we need to panic rotate across towards B? And the answer is no, of course. It's been a walkout here from Bait to try and find presence on A. Head trick takes the head of Agil. This is big. Mutirius playing it patiently. Spots them all out. Sees that bomb and immediately goes in for it. Can't drop him though. And it's all on U-Jerks. It's not a lot of money for sAw actually, so I don't know whether going for this is the idea.
Yeah, it's true. I think they probably, with Mutirius having 4.2, they could squeeze out maybe just like a FAMAS over towards him. But I think you're right. I think I'm probably calling for a save here. James Counter-Strike comes back to bite us, and you jerks will just keep hold of his rifle. What a way to kind of dig them out of a dark situation, right? They get around out of nothing. Hedrick does really well. The only issue I have with these sort of rounds is the one question I always ask: are they replicable? No. They get quite fortunate that some of these fights just go in their favor. Bait can't, they can't bank on those sort of rounds to me, and that's still the fundamental issue I'm seeing so far. Even though it doesn't feel like, I think the scoreline's slightly deceiving to how the game actually feels.
Yeah, definitely. Without the pistol and the conversions, and this is why we talk about pistols being so valuable for teams. Again, especially in the BO1s, because it can take a bit of time to warm into a game, and you don't have your own map coming up next. But yes, indeed, some unluckiness, particularly from the AWPing side, in the sense that we saw Story get a tag, miss a close shot, and then go down, and then they give the AWP away. So a lot of it comes down to what happened to him specifically. Hedrick savvy here, nice angle from him, may well have spotted out the next man as well. Mutiris is in behind enemy lines, AWP trying to cover him as best it can, but unfortunately he will go down. Still an even situation. Agil in all this, he's crept in the apartments where there was zero presence, so a big find from him.
And he's still moving as well. I mean, look at the pace he's going at. Looks towards second mid, doesn't spot anything. Looks over towards mid again, same thing. Oh no, they're going towards B here. Nade around that corner by Roman. What has he got for us? He tucks himself in towards New Box, and he might be in a lot of trouble here. There's the Molotovs that we've been begging for, but he does get one before he falls. And Ascenthia thrust into a tough 1 versus 2. MP9 and an AWP. The opposites, one better at close range, the other at long. He's got an AK-47, the best of both, and he looks to try and isolate. And the way they're set up as well, a chance here, first fight with MP9, jumping around the corner. Agil will see it off. So sAw going to guarantee bare minimum tied game. That's not bad.
Considering the start, considering the 2v5, I think they have recovered well, and they have dominated the rifle play very, very well. And it is
I look too happy,
slightly long faces.
Yeah.
And they know they are better than this, and they've also been really struggling in Banana. I'm sure it's one of those things when you watch as a coach in particular, it's like either figure it out or stop giving them the fight. Be like, okay, maybe B is not where we're going to find success. Let's look towards A. But they did, for a good 3 or 4 rounds there, keep forcing the issue, trying to fight back, and just kept dying. 3 on B this round. 3 on B. So an interesting change up from sAw.
Yeah, especially considering they just don't need it. Roman's there, mate. He will lock it down. If they fight him, they're going to lose.
Yeah. 3 things guaranteed in life.
Yeah. Death taxes, Roman getting an opening kill by a banana, spamming through the wood as he doesn't see anyone.
Oh, man.
But
with the FAMAS of all weapons.
I know. Making that piece of ass look so good. And it's just so bad, right? It's just, I mean, for me, the Galil, comparatively to the FAMAS, is just in completely different leagues. I mean, I don't see a lot of people these days are picking up Galils just generally, right? Like, because they like the spammability of it.
Oh, I like this. Story is the change up here. Not usually been on the B-bomb side, especially early on, but he was checking out the boost. He went ahead of the flash and he paid the price. Roman also going to drop. U-Jerks is there on the flash assist, so they do know about him. Well-timed smoke. There's only one place they can really be. Nearly finds 2, but not quite. Now going to be reliant on these rotators. They are scared of a lurkage, but there's no one there. It's all 5 here, headed towards the B-bomb site for bait. Lost a few in the process. Setup looks good. Kit available. Got a nade. Well placed. Could make a big difference here. Oh, that could do it. Yeah, it will. Oh, it's actually the M4 that finds it, so we get a little teased, but all the same, 2 versus 2. Quick boost up here, being watched for. That's information gained on 1. Where's the second? Don't quite know. And the time is not there, unfortunately. Bait, one of their nicer rounds towards the tail end. They leave us even going into the second half.
Now tell me, how's I supposed to know she's a devil and you take her bait? Just when I'm good to go, that's when she's gonna make you wait. That's fine, I'll take it slow.
Welcome back in, folks. Dead even at the turn of the half, but as we said throughout, it felt like sAw won the harder rounds, let's say.
Yeah.
So a flip over could be big, though. Bait, they enjoy their CT side. They have mirrored the CT pistol of sAw, 1 on A, 4 on B. So they seem ready for a B hit. They may well be correct.
Oh,
all right.
Hey.
That's a nice shot. That might scare them off for good, to be honest, but we'll see. They're trying to draw presence in. Timing's pretty good here from the CT side. Julie's going to get involved, and a triple kill for MPL. Head trick with the 2. Really clean stuff.
What a round. That's beautiful. Well played as well. Right? Opening kill's fine, but then the swing, 3 of them in towards top car like that. I like the teamwork. I like the synergy coming through from Bait. And what a way to sort of set the tone off the back of what was a very uncomfortable first half. We said for us, I mean, it really felt like the scoreline was quite misleading. sAw felt like the favourites off the back of it. And I think the only thing that bailed out Bait was the gun round and the eco and the force buyer, to start it off. They got 4 out of the first 5 rounds. And if they can do that once again, it might just give them a chance at this map and ultimately the series, I guess, if you want to call it that way, in the best of 1. Oh, shot though from Story. Other ideas? Catches Captain Kirker. He had a rough time on Banana on T side, and it might continue here on CT. He's not had the greatest of times out there.
Yeah, immediately a different approach from them. Deep smoke, deep push. So could be something that we keep checking back in with if the B area, the banana area, is a pressure point for Bait. This one has slowed down, of course. Deagle's still trained in and trying to distract, but the rest of the team only on the Glocks. So what do you really expect here? And another classic, let's go out balcony. Try and overwhelm, try and force the bomb plant, but Bait procedurally ready for this. In they fly, and they will actually manage to get a bit more ground than I expected. That's the bomb down, though, and they both dropped. So I think the round, unfortunately, is not going to go anywhere. Another headshot attempt. Story can't find it. And Bait will continue rolling through the motions. These pistols and the conversions don't look bad.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the real thing that just kills them there is the fact that the bomb stays up onto his back. Yeah. If the bomb had made its way down, even the guy who dies, if the bomb just rolls forward, they might actually get a little plant out of that. They might have snuck one through, but ultimately not to be. There will be Bait now building up a couple of rounds as a buffer zone, which is exactly what you want to see. But we're in towards the buy for sAw. They force bought second round despite the loss. They full bought third. This time they changed it up. Eco and buyers soon as. We do have triple Khalil that comes through. Fan of the gun though, so I don't think it's going to be too big of an issue. And a whole host of util around, and MPL will drop a bit of his own as well to try and deny a bit of a fight. They try and flash through it, but MPL's going to get both. With Tyrus and Roman, the old guard, going to get clipped. NPL's got 1 point of HP, but he's somehow still alive. A lucky man, but what a play from him.
That is a hell of a call. That is a hell of a call. You know, I don't think that was initially part of their game plan. I think they've gone quickly. You know, the vision of MPL drew them in, really drew them in, and that felt like it was a big part of the Bait game plan. Yes, he gets the kills himself, but Headtrick was trained on long, ready to trade, you know, and whatnot. So, I don't know, man. sAw maybe playing to the tune of Bait right now, and the crazy counter-strike. This is a team that's going to be way more ready for it than some of your higher-level squads. sAw are indeed faltering at the start of the T side.
Agil had a very good first half, in all fairness. He was very proactive in through the apartments via A. This one feels unlikely, and he gets tagged down. They know where he is. And they don't even need to hunt all too desperately, especially now that MPL and Alex are both low, and Cynthia's not exactly healthy either. You need to be a little careful here. But with 20 seconds, it feels like all the risk is sort of averse in this situation. It feels like we shouldn't have too much of an issue, is the hope. Agil picks one M4. Down he goes. Nice and simple. Only the one casualty. And on what is a bonus round for sAw, for Bait, may I say, against sAw's full buy. That is pretty important. That's going to give them a lot of leeway early here.
really looking worrying if you ask me. I'm not going to lie. I think sAw just not giving us anything. And it is this move. I think they saw him, molly in hand, and someone must have had a flash pulled. Or maybe it was part of the play. They just went a bit faster than they were planning. And yeah, it really did not work for them at all. So problematic here. Bait are on the verge of the double digits. Should be able to get it. Captain Kirker, he overstays his welcome. That's how you do it, by the way.
Yeah.
Throw a Molotov car, maybe a flash as well.
The thing we were begging for the whole half.
It makes it a bit easier to deal with the wide, aggressive swings. MPL here with the nade, looking to do some decent damage. sAw takes one, but it costs him a lot. MPL does the same. This B bomb site does not look good right now.
No. Could be troublesome. He's so low. Down he goes. Bomb plant as well. And a couple of guns picked up. With an AK and an M4 to work with, unless they get an early kill, this could be quite awkward. They don't have a kit, so they've got to actually get in towards these fights sooner rather than later. Tech9 and M4 are going to be first point of contact, and Hedrick gets his head ripped off. Alex is out of there.
Yeah.
It's falling apart. Maybe a little bit too much of an overfight early. But I mean, the main one, of course, was, you know, sAw learning, roaming in a lot of leeway in towards Banana. Let's make sure that doesn't happen to us. Let's just kill him straight away. Captain Kirker gets deleted, and it once again reaffirms the kind of narrative we were building. He's having a real tough time over towards Banana. He just cannot seem, whether it's T or CT side, he just can't seem to get comfortable there. And once again, that's the issue. He stuck around too long for sure, but he was hoping that somebody would fight him. Somebody would make it worth his while. You know, he wouldn't die in vain, but unfortunately that was the case, and it ended up costing him the round, arguably.
That's what sAw are capable of, though. They always have those pocket rounds. They play so well into the high pace. Very fluid kind of T side, especially on those half-buy rounds.
Yeah.
So they know what they're doing, and they keep it up. It doesn't let up. It's not like, okay, we got the bomb down, we got some guns, let's sit back. It's like, no, they keep pushing in. They keep looking for the fight. Absolutely relentless. Of course, once again, this initial utility from sAw just feels way more worked out. Quick nades towards the sandbags. Top Banana secured.
They do a good job as well. They split up in a way which means they can just keep control. We saw earlier when Bait were on the T side and the usual set came down, they wouldn't even bother trying to push a little bit further forward and go through the smokes or go past the Molotov. They would just say, okay, any sort of util, we'll fall back, we'll stay grouped up, which sometimes is obviously the right thing to do. Play the numbers game, but in this instance, they just leave somebody towards top cast. They know for sure that their teammates can walk through that smoke. They can all come and join the U-Jerks over towards top Banana. You can get behind it. Double stack here in the smoke. Not often you see this as well. It might push them to continue getting a little active. The question is, though, where does this bomb actually want to finish for sAw? It's still a little bit stuck in no man's land.
Oh, nice find from Agil. Sees there might be another one. Really well played. Those are big kills. Game-changing kills. Down goes Story. AWP reveals itself. They will head towards B instead, though. It wasn't really part of the plan. It's drawn a bit of a rotation as well, just the presence of two players. Down goes Captain Kirker. B bomb site might go with him here. I don't know if Bait want to stick around for this, to be honest. The sAw nearly makes me eat my words. The double spray down was there, not quite converted. It is unlucky. There's some low HP players, but unfortunately low HP players do not win rounds.
It's true. Hedrick's not giving this a go, and he might actually get hunted too. Agil, even though he is low, got the right idea, looking to try and find this AWP. And Hedrick doesn't even really know where to go, but I think opting for the pistol is the right call. Just a question of can he hit his shots, and can Agil spot him out? It's basically the question of who spots who first. Tucked in towards backside. Agil hasn't quite cleared it just yet, and he might opt against it, in all fairness. They do have money to burn, so I feel like it's probably worthwhile. I mean, I know Story doesn't, but the rest of the team can buy, and now we've got the AWP as well. We can drop it over, but we're not risking it. So Hedrick gets the luxury of keeping his AWP alive, but he won't really have all that much behind it, if we're being completely honest. There might just be more or less a full save, maybe a couple of upgraded pistols at the very most. sAw have made this one-round game. Competition's on here. And Bait, once again, in the important rounds, in the gun rounds, are looking quite weak, as they did in that first half. And this is where we were saying that scoreline felt like a little bit of a facade. Gun rounds, if you just hone on those in a little bit more of a micro sense, they're pretty one-sided. And sAw have been looking very, very strong.
Yeah, impressively so. I feel like we are in somewhat of a timeout here as they look to talk things over, secure their position. It's interesting, a lot of the bait players, I feel like have not been incredibly vocal as well, you know, in these sort of moments of downtime. So another thing that they really do have to work on. A very young team, I think, in a lot of senses of the word.
It's true, so, like 2 with experience, but even then they weren't really vocal, right? Because if you look at it, like head trick, obviously your time in NIP doesn't count. You were stuck in that place in the hell.
Sure.
So fair enough. Your time in NIP doesn't count. But then obviously MPL, he definitely wasn't vocal, as we know from Na'Vi.
Yeah. And I think they were kind of leaning on the more experienced players in those teams, whereas now it's the opposite.
Exactly.
However, in this round, as we've sort of talked things over, maybe experience is not all it's cracked up to be. Sometimes you just got to click on the other guy better.
It's true.
And that's what we've had here. This AWP has done a lot of work in the opposite hands, of course. AK retrieved. There is armor there for Alex, but it's a man advantage. That's the big thing.
Yeah. An AK and an AWP, he's a potential. I sent the out now, posted on a good angle too. Do have util to work with a sAw, and we do have time as well. We're just under the minute mark, so not exactly in a rush, but it does feel like a commit towards B. And there's 3 players here, so it's going to be a relatively even fight. The only difference being the firepower, and I guess primarily as well, the armor.
Essential is the big one. Smoke comes in. Oh, he doubts himself. He's going to try and drop back to the pillar here. Buying some time, and just caught out in the open. That does go to show a lack of comfortability on that AWP. Boost is here. Effective for 1, able to drop down. That's the big thing, though, keeping the numbers. 20 seconds to get this bomb down. Rotation's coming in late. They boost again, but the smoke goes down, and they will be revealed like deer in headlights. But the bomb has been cancelled. 2 versus 1. Fake out here from Story. Can he find them both? Oh, my goodness. It takes him a lot of time, but he will indeed win out the key clutch for sAw.
I have no idea how he even stays alive that long. I don't know what happens right at the tail end there to Alex, but...
The aim punch has got to be... Well, no, he had armor. Alex was on with armor.
So I don't even know. Yeah, it feels like he maybe... Crosshair came in, trained in the wrong position. He just couldn't quite adjust it in time, but well done, Story. The first is really crisp with the Tech 9, but the second, little labored, but all that matters is the round taken in their favor, and now game is absolutely on. Good effort, has to be said from Bait, from nothing, making something of that round, but yeah, what happened to the tail end here for Alex, I have no idea. It just feels like, I mean, I'd love to see it from his POV, where the crosshair even went. But it looked really labored. Another tack ball is getting called as well, another opportunity to talk. And for Madden, he looks a little mad in all fairness, and I don't really blame him. This is a side who are starting to dwindle a little bit. Once again, pistol round. Eco after it, and the first gun one, in all fairness. So that was at least something. We thought, okay, maybe times have changed there. But sAw, the second the Econ has sort of reset itself, they're right back into winning ways, and they're spiraling very, very well. 3 rounds in a row. Game title, square. The vibes, the momentum, the economy is all over the place for Bait 2. Not a nice predicament they find themselves in. Mentally, they're probably starting to get really challenged.
Nothing on the other side of the smoke. Walking, a lot of walking here from sAw. No information being given across, visually and audibly. But they have to make a move eventually. It's kind of the same from Bait, in fairness. They're also not holding the open angles. Molotov comes in, MPL's like, yo, give me a smoke. I'm not even going to peek it here. So yeah, they really are tense. They really do not want to give the fights on either side of the board here. Head trick gets flashed up. The second is pretty good as well. Really well played, and this is what happens. We talk about it sometimes. There is a thing as too much respect. You give the space across.
Yeah.
A T side as savvy as sAw are going to be able to work with that and abuse that. You have to get in their heads. You have to get in their way and be like, you know, you can't have those free flash positions. You can't have a 5-man burst.
It's true.
It's how you really work sAw down. I think as a unit, on the T side, they can be one of the better teams in the world, actually.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely spot on. I felt like Bait looked a little nervy in that one. Great flashbangs as well coming through from Story and the Gil. The supporting util was phenomenal just to open up that site, make it so damn comfortable. And of course, no questions about the hunt. They have a little bit of money, so why not take a little risk and just see what you can spot out. At the end, all that sAw care about is the round on the board. First had to crack into double digits and still things looking really dicey for Bait. And in that sense, you know, even we were looking at it, the sAw side were allowed to go all the way up into top mid, get early short and long control with no contest. Nobody really fought. I mean, the only thing they had to do was, you know, be wary of the smoke, which MPL was playing in and around, but they already got him down to 9 points of HP. Granted, they wouldn't have known, but they know they ticked him in that Molotov at least a bit. So the fact that they can just go all the way up mid,
yeah,
get up towards brackets and just sort of take that control without really having to fight for it is a bit of a worrying sign. That looks very standoffish, very nervy from Bait, and sort of not what you expected. This is a side who have been tearing in Tier 2. They have been, I mean, really showcasing that they don't really care who they play up against. They normally don't show a lot of respect and are very, very crisp. And unfortunately, it just seems like they're kind of petering out here.
Yeah. You cannot show sAw the respect, which, as you say, is something that Bait characteristically don't do.
Agreed, yeah.
But I think coming into this environment, they're like, okay, we got to maybe tighten our game up a bit and play more disciplined. And it does feel slightly foreign in places. Third and final tack timeout taken by them there, by the way. So we'll see if they're able to bring a bit more to the table in this round. They have gone down the middle. Roman knows what's up. Gets the nade in, draws the presence. Maybe saw the tip of the head before MPL took the peak. And another opener for sAw.
Can't complain, not at all. Gil waiting. Alex on the other side. Wants his moment to sort of shine here a little bit. Nade over that smoke is still the main thing keeping them at bay. Until it fades, I really can't do all too much. Alex in towards Boiler. You got a Gil still trying to move his way forward. There's no need to rush here though for sAw. And this is something they do very well. They're very good at slowing things down. Sort of not letting the opponent play to their game. Gil could get a chance here and he gets another great shot. His work through apartments on both CT and T side has been excellent.
Just in general in the game, to be fair, he's fragging rather very, very well.
Yeah.
Which I think will surprise the members of the desk. Head trick. Going to catch Story on the exit. Could make a difference. It all depends on what they do with Agil here. They'll know about him. Oh my goodness. That doesn't matter. That's what he wants. He takes the heads clean off. And yeah, Roman, rightfully so, is like, God damn. Yeah. Maybe it wasn't so bad after all. All this, you know, arrows, dosh, where's he gone? What's happened to him? Who cares if we just keep the fragging going? Yeah,
new boy on the block, not pulling any punches. He's had a great map so far. I like what I'm saying. I mean, this work for apartments, when you're that lurker, you've got actually quite a lot on your shoulders. You've got to A, get information, and B, catch any either people overextending or any stragglers that remain behind. He does it perfectly. What a round from him. If you're looking sort of lurking around those sort of A apartments, that is how you go about it. Story sticks around in the flames, takes a little bit more damage from the nade as well. But even still, we're contending for that banana control, something that we weren't seeing out for Bait. And that's why the T side really did struggle. Bit of a boost up as well. Hedrick now posted on towards Boiler. It could have been swung upon if things had gone south. Lucky for him though, they didn't opt to peek. If they had gone for a peek, Hedrick would have been trying to knife out boosting somebody on towards that short pillar, and it could have been a very easy opening kill.
Roman gathering information at the front end of the apartments here. Here's them running back, I would imagine, as well. Oh, my, U-Jerks is in pretty deep for free. Ooh. Loses his head, certainly biting off more than he can chew, and now's not the time to do that. Such an important round here for both teams, but I think particularly Bait. It feels like their game will be over if they lose this one. No money into that next. So having the advantage is a really, really important part of staying alive here. What is the game plan? sAw have expended quite a lot of utility over on B. They're trying to creep out A. Could work for them here.
True. Both kits were over towards A early in the round. It's a big risk. If they say falls, they're going to have to pick up kits if they can, but the bomb still waits to see whether it can go down. Smoke over towards Moto. That might give Aguil an opportunity. Plant for short. Doesn't even need to peek Hedrick. And the rotation from Captain Kirk, and not that it's kind of slow by any means, it's just straight into enemy hands. You'd expect surely that's the round. A 1 versus 2 for Hedrick. He knows where one is, knows the other was the planter, but what can he even do? This clearance alone feels they're impossible, but an uncharacteristic miss from Story. Still surely no chance, no kit, no util. I'm not giving this a go in a 1v2 retake with an AWP. So it will be sAw locking themselves in towards match point. And Bait, us just still left questioning. This has been a really, unfortunately, quite lackluster performance by their standards.
Yeah, I'm left a little baffled.
Bait are like my dark horse in this tournament, do you know what I mean?
To be fair, I think they, for the group especially, they really could have caused, they already have caused a bit of upset. So, yeah, very interesting to see them kind of check out on a map that feels pretty comfortable for them. You did note ever so lightly when they last faced sAw, it wasn't on Inferno.
True.
So
this is a good little change up.
Yeah, potentially, right? They might have.
It wasn't even in the veto, funnily enough. I was having a look through as well when they last played, and that third map was Anubis. Yeah, so it went out in the very last ban was sAw banning out this Inferno and instead letting it go towards Anubis.
Okay.
Granted, wasn't needed in the end, but now they've realized actually maybe our Inferno's a little bit better than we thought. Captain Kirker, he's had problems here. We've spoken about it. He's up close with an MP9, naded, flash, spammed down and dropped. Asthential will trade, sure, but his woes continue, 7 and 17.
sAw still able to back away, heads held high, and once again we'll be looking to bait the bait rotations. Smokes come out, quite a lot of smokes actually from the CT side to try and hold off. It is the one long smoke, the one flash, but as Aguil takes space, there will be silent teammates joining him. Nice nade damage, but you can see Bait are tentative. They're like, do we fully commit to A? Is it some kind of a fake out? At the moment, sAw themselves maybe don't quite know, because they also are not dedicating all the resources. Again, just one smoke. Still not quite enough to make you believe.
It's true. They've got to take some really mean raw aim jewels. But on the other side too, time starts to tick as we hit 30 seconds. There's a flash and a nade on the other side, a shot from Hedrick to keep the numbers in their favor. And now for you, Jerks, Mutera's Story, not even that much of a reaction behind it. We've got to get going. Starting to creep their way forward. Smoke will come down, and now they've got to just take fight. Hedrick, yet one more. He's doing so well, locking it down towards the site. The FAMAS comes in for support as well, but I think this job is absolutely done here. I say that. Plant's got to go down. He's got to keep Hedrick at bay, but he is still delivering kills. Materis, 1 versus 3, 23 points of HP. Surely not a chance in hell. He tucks himself in towards Big Pit. They know where he is as well. They've heard him reload. They've heard him step. They're going up above as well. He's got to be a dead man. Walking. They walk past him if you're a Asthential, but thankfully MPL there for the trade. And Bait stay alive.
Does make me worry ever so slightly. That looked awkward in the mini pit there, but yes, indeed, too many to get through in the end. So a bit more work to be done, but it does, I think, start the nerves a little for the sAw side, as it's not said and done just yet. Bait always going to be capable with those individuals that we have talked over. Maybe not the best game out from them as a unit. You know, it feels like all those sort of pressure points that we talked over have come to a head here. We are in a little tech pause here, but shouldn't be too long if I am understanding correctly. Ultimately, has to happen once in a while, you know, make sure everyone's all comfortable. Could have been a little miss-buy situation, or, you know, there's so many bugs going around in this game right now. I don't mean to talk bad about CS2. I am actually enjoying it quite a bit, but I am still alt-tabbing, and it won't tab back in. Yeah,
we've seen now as well that people are getting like banned for it as well, just to make it even better.
Really?
In the new update, yeah, if you alt-tab, you can get banned, Crazy.
Okay, I'm not alt-tabbing anymore, guys.
Yeah, just don't do it. Just don't do it. It's not worth the risk. It's not worth the hassle.
I'm a serial alt-tabber, though. I'll die, I'm alt-tabbing, I'm on Twitter.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll die, I'm on Instagram Reels, so I mean, go on the phone.
Yeah, it's probably smarter.
That way, it's like an IRL alt-tab. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
different device.
Brain alt-tab.
Yeah, I need the what do you even call it when you like just doom scroll? what's the like chemical?
Like dopamine.
That's the one. Yeah. These kids these days, eh?
Well, indeed. You know, there's a deeper conversation there, unfortunately, about
not a time and place.
Society and the end of it, really. But Counter-Strike is forever. And
let's hope.
Okay, all right. We took this down a dark road, potentially. But indeed, still waiting for the game to get kicked off here. We'll try and keep you updated with that. Never nice, I feel, at this point of a game to have the technical as well. Maybe when you're online, it's a little more comfortable. Again, as said, you can do other things, distract your head.
True.
Or it depends on what you want to do here. Do you want to stay fully present, but with no talking? You just have to sit and, you know, consider and try not to think about what you could have done differently in the previous round to win the game.
Yeah.
That definitely looks like that's what Mutiris is doing, you know, like, oh my goodness, if only I'd got better timing or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. I think in particular, right, you got all this pressure on his shoulders, like, right, what do I call to close this out? You know, we're so close. And I think that we've seen a lot of teams have actually really been struggling to do just that final hurdle. With a bait, it's sort of, you know, we've got nothing to lose here. Let's just hope we can sort of make something work. I mean, my assumption is that the issue here is with Alex. I mean, when the headphones are off, it's so I always do levels, right? You know, the tech pause headset's on, it's really quick. Headset comes off, might be a little bit longer, and then you know it's a bad tech pause when people start standing up. That's when it's like, okay, this is not in for a good spot. We're at level 2 out of 3 right now, so headset's off, which I'm assuming is just some sort of, you know, reset, restart along those lines. It might actually even be headphones/earphones, but we shall see. I think, you know, for sAw, it's about making sure you just stay locked in. It's a very difficult thing to do as well. I think it takes a lot of experience, which granted, in all fairness, sAw do have, especially LAN experience this year. But you do have to stay really dialed in. And, you know, I guess for Mutiris, just thinking about how do we now try and close this out in towards the next, what's our plan? You're not allowed to talk, so he's got to be brainstorming and thinking, right, the second we go back in, we're going to have, you know, maybe 15 seconds. I've got to try and relay this idea in my mind that I've just cooked up over the last 3 minutes and get it going.
Do you think they play with in-ears at home? Because that honestly, like, of all the things about being...
No, I reckon they don't.
Yeah.
Most headphones these days are pretty good, like surround sound.
Yeah, for sure. But
they're mad uncomfortable.
I cannot stand it.
Yeah, they're so uncomfortable.
I was just going to say, it's like, if of all the things to be a pro player, like, if I'd have gone for it, that might be one of the things that would actually
You only made it, to be fair. I've seen
yeah. Okay. All right.
You were close, mate.
Yeah, it's a good job, but there'd be some choice words if we went on camera. But, you know, maybe after.
But no, yeah, they are so uncomfortable. And I feel like most headphones these days, you know, they have all the
it's not about that. It's just like...
And they don't need sound, like, you know...
I mean, maybe if you're, like, salaried and it's important, you could get some of the expensive ones, so, like, molded to your ears.
True. I mean, they could get, as well, like, I think just at home. I mean, the main reason they even wear these as well is, you know, what's it called, soundproofing, right?
Yeah, noise cancellation.
Yeah, you'd hope you didn't need that at home. You might watch Netflix downstairs or whatever it is.
Yeah, well, you never know on the grind, man. You know, it can be tough. It can be tough.
Does look like, though, I will say, Alex, headphones back on. King/Jester from
Oh, nice.
0-7 in opening duels. Roma's 9-0. And Roma went 6-0 in the first 9 rounds as well to make it even better. So he was absolutely loving life in towards Banana. Looked so damn clean and completely untested. And yeah, he sort of continued that run here in towards the second half. And even on the T side, looking really, really scary.
Hey, we're back. Alrighty, so... big rounds, of course, to bring you back into the Counter-Strike, back down to reality. As this is a do-or-die moment for Bait once again. They had just won the previous round. Maybe they can keep it going. The buy is decent. So it is all about what the adjustments are going to be, if any. This is one of the things. Do you want to make those big changes if you are sAw here, or do you just keep rolling through the motions? As we said, Mutiris has had a lot of time to talk things over, or, sorry, think things over and then rethink and maybe start to doubt that idea. Maybe don't go that way, so we'll see. And it does feel like they are playing a relatively conventional default, maybe go deep in towards Banana. Actually, nobody there to meet them, but there's nothing too out of the ordinary here.
Agil, once again, in through this AAPS, and he does a very good job of just getting a bit of information, bit of space. Alex trying to be cleared off this corner. Molotov won't touch him in towards his top side, so he'll be fine here, but any spam might start to be a bit of a nuisance. Story, Roman, one apiece. Alex looks for two as well. He gets mighty close indeed. Can't quite confirm it, and surely now, job done and dusted. Hedrick thrust into a 1 versus 4. A long rotate, a kit in his back pocket, and a molly smoke and a flash to try and hope on a prayer to make this round work, but it looks like sAw are about to get the win here. Hedrick posts up over towards long. Bomb's not down yet, but he already takes damage to the molly, so they're just going to know where he is. Bomb planted, and surely round done and dusted. Closed out in, honestly, quite a comfortable fashion. If we look towards the gun rounds, they were only really going one way. If we look towards the way in which the momentum felt, same again. Bait for us never really stepped up to the plate.
Yeah.
Never played to the level that we normally expect of a side of their caliber.
Yeah, man. I mean, there was maybe 1 or 2 nice rival rounds. Of course, the big one was the 2 versus 5. We'd maybe look towards sAw saying that was their loss more than it was Bait's win. Without the pistols, though, it's very difficult.
Nothing to